Okay. Okay, auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, Syam boleh start recording ya. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to everyone. Yang berbahagia, Piano Tajaria, Dr. Mak Joy selaku pengarah KAES, para penceramah, Dr. Hadzley, Dr. Hyreil, Dr. Sazalinsyah dan Encik Azwan, semua peserta-peserta sama ada daripada UTeM atau di luar UTeM yang saya kasih sekalian. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for joining this KAES training. So today will be our first training on teaching and learning for work-based learning WBL, specifically untuk industry coaches and coordinators. So to all industry coaches and coordinators, we welcome you all to our session today. Selamat datang, welcome, ahlan wa sahlan kepada semua peserta. So untuk memberkati majlis, kita mulakan kita punya sesi hari ini dengan kitab Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, arrahmanir rahim, maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Okay, alhamdulillah. So before we proceed with our agenda today, izinkan saya ingin menjemput we have to invite our director of KAES, which is the Center of Academic and Excellence of UTeM, to give a few opening speech. Dengan segala banyak saya persilakanlah Piano Tajaria.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to all. Thank you our moderator Dr. Khairul Anwar. I would like to firstly welcome all, especially all the industry coach as well as industry coordinators to our specially dedicated course on teaching and learning for work-based learning. And also I would like to thank our speakers, Dr. Hyreil, Dr. Sazalinsyah, PM Associate Professor IR Dr. Hadzley, and then TS Dr. Suffian, as well as all others UTeM's lecturers who are also joining this session. So I believe on behalf of UTeM, especially to our coaches, industry coaches and coordinators, we appreciate of all of your full commitment to attend to these courses, as well as giving full support and commitment in delivering our academic program, which is the first we are going to implement by work-based learning mode. So Alhamdulillah, our students now have become your students, and for two programs, Bachelor of Technology, Bachelor of Technology for Welding and also Machining. So the students are now with you. It's almost 6 weeks, isn't it? 6 weeks, isn't it? In our semester academic. So we are now sharing the same responsibility on developing our graduates to become the future technical expert technologies who are going to contribute to the betterment of our society. And here at UTeM, we call it TUA. TUA is our graduate should be tangkas, unggul, adaptive and holistic. So I believe TUA now is not just molded by us at UTeM, but it's also is going to be molded by all the industry coaches as well as industry coordinators. So we have about from 3D Gens, Dylang Berhad, Glassfield Polymers, Nanotechnology, HR, ASBI Holding, Petro Services, Teras Tegak Agrotech, and UWC Berhad. So thank you for receiving our students. So today courses is just like a sharing platform. In order for we are hoping that this course will is designed to ensure that we as coordinators and lecturers as well as coaches that deliver this WBL program is well understand on the outcome-based education approach for WBL. So inshallah, with this 4-hour session, we together can more understand on this abbreviation, yeah, OBE for WBL. OBE is outcome-based education for work-based learning. So I hope that everyone is having a good time for us to share on how we are going to perform or trying to perform our best role in nurturing our students and future graduates. So I believe that sooner or later, in just a near future, it is where we at UTeM is listening from you guys on how to deal or how to further improve our WBL delivery, because you are now the pioneer of the more becoming more towards to come a Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Technology program in UTeM. So we are looking forward for that sharing later on. And as a first start, let us have a good session today. Okay, that's all for me.
Okay, terima kasih banyak. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah. Thank you very much, Dr. Jaria, for a very quick but very insightful opening message. So before we proceed, maybe Dr. Hyreil can unshare sebentar, and then we would like maybe the participant to maybe switch on your camera for a while, just to see some beautiful faces. Kata tak kenal maka tak cinta kan. This is the first time, kita pun bukan mereka secara jauh. So maybe the participant all over Malaysia, from Sabah, from Penang, can have kita nampak muka masing-masing. So thank you very much for coming. Terima kasih semua peserta, dan juga kalau dah sampai ke Melaka ni tak salah if you don't have this pantun. Orang kata apa, kapal dagang dari seberang, salat muatan kayu menanti. Dari jauh tuan-tuan datang, dari Sabah, dari Penang, warga UTeM sedia menanti dan entertain semua, insyaAllah. Okay, thank you very much. So with that, without further ado, time is very limited. We have only around until 1 o'clock. Or plus minus.
Dr. KA, can we
Betul.
have a good photo session first?
Oh, sekarang boleh?
While everyone
Boleh, tak ada masalah.
is refreshing.
Okay, boleh. So, Isyam, boleh tak a very short snapshot untuk kita punya photo session kita? Biasanya kita buat towards the end, tapi boleh jugalah.
Okay, boleh open video.
Yeah.
Okay, kita 1, 2, 3 senyum.
Okay, thumb drive pula. Freestyle, thumbs up ke?
Thumbs up.
Right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
One more.
Oh.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, in order to save bandwidth, tuan-tuan semua boleh you can off your camera lah. Alright, without further ado, I would like to invite upon our first speaker for today's session. The first half, which is entitled on Fundamentals of Teaching and Learning on WBL Program Courses, ataupun asas pengajaran pembelajaran khusus program WBL, akan disampaikan oleh Dr. Hyreil Anwar Kasdirin, as well as Dr. Sazalinsyah bin Razali. So with that, I would like to pass upon this session to Dr. Hyreil first. Okay, over to you, Dr. Hyreil.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih pengerusi majlis Dr. Khairul Anwar. Thank you very much Dr. Khairul Anwar, and also from CAES, from the director PM Jariah. So my name is Hyreil Anwar. I'm representing of academic planning in UTeM. So for this session, our target is to acknowledge the staff from the industry, and also to share our vision in UTeM on this so-called work-based learning courses that will have been implemented in various industries. I think some of the representatives are here, and also how do we approach the program in university in Malaysia actually. So what we call here, as mentioned by Dr. Jaria, is outcome-based education. We call it OBE. So this is a few slides only for our session, 1 hour session. So I will start first from my point of view, and then we'll later on continue with from my deputy, Dr. Sazalinsyah, on certain aspect in our presentation today. So from that, could I ask any of you, do you have any concern first from the industry? Based on Dr. Jariah said just now, it's just 4 weeks, right? The students in your company. So are you okay with that situations? Are the students happy? Are you happy with that? Could we get some feedback first before we continue the session? Tak ada. Okay, kalau tak ada, tak apa. Dr. Shah, kita teruskan dia. Boleh? Next, okay, next slide. So we have 18 pages, 18 slides. So the first slide is about what is OBE actually. So in normal university in Malaysia, we are using the terms outcome-based education. So because in Malaysia qualification framework also emphasis us as a education provider to implement outcome-based education in all our academic program. So in UTeM also we are using the same concept and also the same terms. So if any of you are quite familiar of that, I thank you very much. And if some of you not familiar, so a lot of university students are looking at OBE as terms in our program. So what is OBE actually? It's the measurement of outcome instead of objective. So here some notations here you could read. You could see where we are focusing on the process and output of the students instead of what we are doing as an objective. So the outcome actually looking at what the students get at the end of the session. So in WBL courses, at the end of the session, some courses that they receive from the industry, what should they get? So that is our philosophy, right?
I just wanted to add.
Yep.
My apologies lah, because this is the diagram is from a book. So actually now we are using learning outcome lah, and learning outcomes. Previously it was learning objective. So it's there's a bit of different lah later on. And the SCL, student-centered learning, is, as you can see, is at the center. And for WBL is for, I think, quite new lah for us. But it's basically the instruction. As you can see, there's other types of instruction. So WBL should be the delivery. However, as you can see, it relates with other components as well. So therefore, assessment and the learning outcome ought to be also discussed lah, kan, with the faculty, which I think Associate Professor Dr. Hadzley already engaged lah with most of you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Dr. Shah. So we take an example, if one courses that implemented in your company or in the industry. So each and every courses, they have their own outcome. And then, as mentioned by Dr. Shah, instructions, the instructor itself is from the industry. We also have play a role in developing those aspects. So the faculty will discuss with you what is the outcome, and based on the outcome, we should know what should the students get at the end of the course. So the instructor from the industry will I think help the students to get what they should get, and then to observe the outcome. Usually we will do some assessment. Assessment here is I'm looking at two direction. One, usually when we ask somebody to get something, and then we ask questions, right? So those are some assessment. But here assessment also referring to the formal assessment that the university provide. maybe the program indicates some assessment form to be filled, and also in doing so, you may ask something about that before the assessment, and then the assessment itself will help the students to get the outcome of the courses, right? So that is the philosophy of outcome-based education from this slide of view. Tasha, so are you alright with that, or we could continue the next process? The next slide is about what is the difference between objective and outcome. As I mentioned just now, the objective is usually that we used to develop before this. However, in Malaysia qualification framework, in Malaysia standard, we usually now we are looking at the outcome. So looking at the outcome range. So it's stated there where the student should know, the student should understand, the student should practice, the student should acquire some skills, the students should do some activity, the student should, and the word should is one aims that we want, because at the end of the day we want could only achieve the objective, but in doing so we targeted that what is the students get at the end of the course. So that's the difference between objective and outcome. Okay, anything to add, Dr. Shah, or we go to the next slide?
Okay.
Right. So next slide, this is some reference. I think if the PM Hadzley could share this document to the industry, it's good. But I'm sorry, it's about it's a bit lengthy of reference. We have to read and understand what is the aim of our government in Garis Panduan Pelaksanaan Mode Industri to U2I. It's from our ministry, and also our MQA referring to the standards of doing the WBL courses. And also the students, I think this first batch is from the program that accredited by MBOT, Lembaga Teknologi Malaysia, Malaysia Board of Technology, I think in English. So they have the current manual where we stated here 2019. So it's a bit very technical on educations. I'm sorry. So maybe some of us here is not very new about these terms. So, but anyway, this is what we have, and then we share to you if to at least we know what is philosophy of our country and the university. And the current one is UTeM 2020, just approved in 6th of April, which is yesterday, right? It's where we call it's Peraturan in Garis Panduan Pelaksanaan Pembelajaran Berasaskan Kerja, work-based learning, WBL in UTeM. Right? Okay, anything to add, Dr. Shah? Or
so I think the point here is that if any issues or any concerns, do contact the person in charge at the faculty. For now, I think it's PM Hadzley and his team, because it would involve these stakeholders these are all the stakeholders in our process together to develop the student. So it involves the accreditation status for the student themselves. So that's the point.
Okay. Sorry. If there are any question, just ask. Or ada soalan apa-apa pun kita boleh terus kat sini lah. Okay, let's continue, Dr. Shah. Thank you. So the next slide is about what is LO, what is learning outcome. Outcome, as mentioned before, is one of the things that we are looking in the philosophy of OBE, outcome-based education. So learning outcome here is stated as a statement of the student should know, understand, and can do upon the completion of a period of study. Yeah, for example, if they are doing something in your company for about 12 months, so we should know upon that duration, what should they get and what should they understand, what skills they could they should learn, and then what they should do. Yeah? So in terms of that, there are all I think about 5 I think this is 5. Yeah. The most common is 3. The upper 3, the outcome that we could see from the students. One is from the course itself, where we call it course learning outcome or course outcome. Usually on one semester we have several courses, right? In implementing in your industry. And at the end of the program, we call it program outcome or program learning outcome, when it's upon 4 or 3 years of study. So usually for this program, I think it's 3.5, right? 3.5. So at 3.5, they have some attributes that we set in university that commit with the MBOT attributes that set by MBOT and also the MQA. And last but not least is about PEO, where we call it Program Educational Objective. This is how each of our program in university sees the future of the students beyond 4 or 3 years after graduations. So this is the aspect where we are looking how important of our program, what we have done in the past 3.5 years in university, and when they are going out to the industry. So after 3 or 4 years, what should they achieve at certain level? So usually we put it in a broad statement because some students will be very skilled in their field, and also some students they will pursue in some higher educations, and also some of students maybe go to the other directions like business or in sports. So it's the students punya achievement lah. But these are the outcome that we set in university. The latter two, like weekly and lesson outcome and learning outcome itself, is usually it depends on the courses and it depends on the industry. Where as I ingat-ingat lah yang saya belajar, saya kerja dulu, we have actually in bila kerja satu hari tu ada outcome dia. In one day we have an outcome to achieve in one industry punya level ataupun apa tu, kita punya output dekat industri tu. So yeah, we could discuss it with the instructor in industry. So as long as we will achieve the learning course outcome, right? Okay.
Dr. may I add for the lesson LLO, I think for WBL, PM Hadzley and his team already done for the weekly task, kalau tak silap. So that is the work task that they have put in the teaching plan kan. So that is part of the outcome lah that is targeted, which contributes to the course learning outcome.
Okay, betul Dr. Hadzley? Weekly outcome, is it?
The weekly task.
Weekly task, weekly task. Right. Okay. So it's good to have. At least we know that for once a week we have some things that the students should know. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is our statement of program education objective. After 3 or 4 years after graduations, we set for these two programs. The first one is Bachelor Technology in Industrial Machining with honours and Bachelor Technology in Welding with honours. So usually the program have 3 or 4. So this program have 3. So I think you could read this through. But most important thing is the specific things that they put here. So after graduation, after 3 or 4 years, they should be machining technologies that could do some related work to related to that lah. So or welding technologies here. So I think just get to know what is our objective at the end after 3 or 4 years of graduation. Right. Next. Okay, this is I think this is PO, Dr. Shah. PLO.
Sorry,
PLO.
PO or PLO. Typo, sorry.
Okay. So this is, I think it's the same, Dr. Hadzley, if you could help us. This is the same as mentioned in the MBOT of accreditation manual, right? So the attributes of students upon completion of the program. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, where 1 is about knowledge, 2 about using tools, 3 is about analytical thinking and using to solve some problems, 4 is about communications, 5 about the social related issue that students should acknowledge in solving their problems. 6 in recognize professional development. 7 is about awareness of the management at technical skill. Technopreneur skill. UTeM usually the words technopreneur. If you could not familiar with that, usually the outside people use entrepreneur. Okay, entrepreneur skills. Entrepreneur skills ni is not about business. It's about skills. Skills and that we could practice in real perspective. And 8 about professionalism and social and ethical considerations. Usually in welding and machining, I think they should know something about ethical and professional. Looking at some manuals, looking at looking at standards that they should know. And last but not least, about leadership and also effective work in teams. So this is some attributes that we set to the students upon graduations. Right? Okay, thank you. Next slide.
So I think it's quite the same. Only the discipline lah, welding and industrial machining lah. So I think this PM Hadzley and his team at the faculty already aligned all this to the manual and board, which are also 9. But the point here is that for the industry coaches and the industry staff, when doing the task, asking the students to perform and assess. So these are the PLOs lah. So when the assessment exercise happen, this is actually the target set by the faculty. So need to be clear lah on that. Which this assessment is for which outcome.
Okay. So this is macam pusing-pusing sikit. The words, the key point here is improvement. I think the word improvement is very much aligned with the industry needs. So each and every things that we are doing, we have to have some improvement, and also in learning environment also we have to look at the improvement. So in OBE also we have to align with the improvement. Here we call it continual quality improvement, where we call for maybe just now about a weekly task, right, Dr. Shah? And then we have the learning outcome of the course itself, the CQI. After that, the program itself, we have also one CQI, and also the after 5 or 6 years, we also have to measure the outcome of the PEO itself after that. The word constructive alignment there in this slide is looking at the particular things to achieve the learning outcome, where betul Dr. Hadzley?
Betul.
The constructive alignment here, usually we when we send students to industry, we have some weekly tasks that we given to the students and to the course, and the instructor in the industry should know the consequences of everything there. Once is the outcome of the task, and to achieve the outcome, we have to know what type of measurement that we could ready for the students, and to get to what could I say there, for the students to to be assessed, we have to somehow know how to deliver or how to train the students. I think the word train, I think, in industry. But this type of delivery is what we call work based learning, WBL. So I think the type of learning in the industry, it depends on the industry itself, and also could be discussed with the program. So this three activities where we call it constructive alignment, where we align everything in one circle. And then after one cycle, we have to get some information straight from the student itself, straight from the instructor, and also input that we get from the faculty members. So we have to come up some things that the gap that we have, the positive or negative. Then we could somehow have some report what we call CQI to the next cohort or the next cycle. So and also the suggestion of improvement. Okay, Kisha.
Okay. So I would like to add maybe two more points, Dr. Hyreil. So although the WBL is happening inside this cycle, if you can see for the course level, so currently they are taking, I think, 4 to 5 courses this semester. So each courses have their own learning outcomes, as you can see. So they have their own cycle, whereby soon you all will be assessing the students and performing the evaluation, and subsequently all we together would do the CQI lah. First to improve the courses themselves for the next batches, but also to improve with the student for the next cycle for the coming semester. So hopefully the students will be with the same industry, but taking another course or another set of courses. So that is the meaning here lah, to say that it is continual. So it's not just giving marks and so on. And from the bigger perspective, the alignments there is that it will cascade lah. It will cascade to the program and so on, whereby that will also involve all the parties, all the stakeholders, including you yourself lah, at the industry, the coaches and also the coordinators at the industry. And lastly, the alignment, as Dr. Hyreil has mentioned, we constantly aligns whatever that probably we can further improve. For example, the tasks themselves, the work tasks that we call that, the work tasks, the weekly work tasks, or the assessment, the rubrics. If you have any input, you can inform the faculty, PM Hadzley and his team. So those are the things involved in all this to align everything together. Okay.
Right. Thank you. For example, I give you some example. For weekly tasks, some tasks to we set about 5 hours, 5 hours, and then students should be already know could do in 5 hours. But at the end of the day, when we assess the students, they could not achieve some level that you want. So that input is very important to us, so that we could either increase the hours or improve the situations. So that is some example that I could give you in terms of that aligning, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. So next slide.
I will show some example after this.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is learning outcome and learning looking at the perspective of learning domain of if we learning about some programs, academic programs, usually we are looking at these three domains, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. I think Dr. Shah, I will not go into detail of this aspect. Just to let them know that the area of cognitive is usually about using the brain. Affective is using the heart, and psychomotor is using the skills, hands-on, using at that. So in every outcome, usually we are targeting either by assessed by knowledge, or by heart, or by skills. So these three aspects usually we are looking to be to assess the students. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Hyreil. So the main point here is that for the industry coaches and the industry coordinators to know these are the framework that we are using. Generally we use for the assessment and for the delivery So, however, the cognitive part would most probably almost always for WBL is catered for by the faculty. Kan, PM Hadzley so the focus for WBL is actually on these two domains especially psychomotor and also affective. So affective, the professionalism, ethics, and all that So these are the focus for WBL So at least there's a systematic way of the delivery and assessment. However, the details are not here but we did provide the notes, so you can go through if you wish. But this is the point that our focus to highlight is on these two domains for WBL.
Okay. Okay. This is about the assessment itself and the relationship towards staging tadi yang Dr. Shah cakap tadi kan, stage from assessment from the course to the courses itself and straight to the program outcome PLO. So example here is I think it's the theoretical punya.
Yes, sorry, the example is more theoretical
Theoretical. Maybe in WBL, Dr. Hadzley will show some more examples of how the assessment align with the course learning outcome and the program learning outcome.
Yes,
right?
my apologies for this example is mostly for university courses So as you can imagine, later on PM Hadzley would be sharing the assessment and the rubric PM Hadzley. So the point here is that the assessment to be conducted is aligned So basically the faculty has already done this. So the point here is for the industry to understand whatever the assessment done at this stage is contributing to the later stages. So because the faculty has already aligned all this. However, my apologies, the examples are very much theoretical, whereby in WBL there would not be this much of theory. Or probably tak ada teori langsung PM Hadzley. Saya tak perasan pula.
Ada sikit teori.
Ada. Mungkin the example will given by the faculty after this. So but the things that the Dr. Shah mentioned is good lah. It's good.
To know that whatever evaluation done at the work will inevitably contribute to the students' attributes later on and the program itself.
Okay. So next. So okay, assessment. Okay, this is part a bit confusing some of us. So in university we have two types of assessment. One is summative, another one is formative. In simpler word, summative, any summative assessment is putting the numbers into the student's grade. Kalau student dapat markah tu, dapat grade A, B, C, D, E, it's actually a summative assessment. Anything about that related to summative will be explained by PM Hadzley in the implementation wise. Usually we looking at one courses and what type of assessment that we plan for that course, and then from that marks it's contributing to the grade, student's grade. that those are the summative assessment. Okay. There's another assessment theory that we call in education where we call it formative. I think formative it's mainly on coaching, where some we ask the student to do some, they show to us, and then we say to them it's right but not quietly right. Could you improve on this aspect, one or two or three aspect, and then come back to me. So giving the input to the students, and the students learn from our feedback, and or the students get the feedback from others, that we call it's formative assessment. So some people maybe not aware of that, but this formative assessment is very good when we teach the students, because some students they want to do something but they don't know how. But the coach aspect here is very important. That is why the WBL come across, where the students will learn from the expert. The students will learn what is the real aspect when they doing the task that they have to do. So that is the assessment for learning. Okay, I think this is the some education punya knowledge, but I think from 3 or 2 minutes I could explain macam tu lah, Syah. Boleh ke?
Yes.
On that side.
So the point for this slide, I think as what Dr. Hyreil has mentioned, yes, we do give marks and grade for the summative, which is assessment of learning. That I think most of us can do lah, whereby we can see something is good, we can give rating and we can give marks. Even though I'm not a singer, I can judge who sings best, who does not sing good, and so on. However, for this part, for WBL, if you look at the JPT document, it stresses on this assessment for learning, which is formative lah, as Dr. Hyreil mentioned. So we are very much request lah, and would be grateful for the coaches to guide the students to form. Formative assessment is forming the students, assessment for learning. So give feedback to them before they are being judged. Why? Because you are the expert in the industry. So we can imagine how to do welding and so on, but we are not the practitioner. So this is the gist lah of WBL, I would say, is the feedback, the real feedback from the real expert. So this is we implore to the industry coaches to exercise this lah. It's quite simple actually. Just feedback, just giving recognition, or just giving constructive comments for them so that they can improve. As for the third circle ni, assessment as learning, it is also formative. However, this is much more for matured student lah. So hopefully for our student, towards the end of the study, they can regulate themselves, whereby they can assess their own work. So that is the target lah. And by the way, the diagram, Dr. Hyreil, is taken from Ireland. Is the national level punya understanding tau dekat sana, dekat Ireland. So I found that out. So I think it's very, very interesting and good. So I use it lah. Okay.
Okay. Any questions so far about this? About coaching? This is aspect of coaching, WBL. Looking at the coaching aspect, right?
Fokus dia dekat tu lah, feedback from expert lah.
Yep. Okay. Continue. So macam mana Syah? Want me to continue or macam mana?
I think this is the last few words.
Last. Okay.
Last few
Right.
slides.
So this is the alignment, I think, the constructive alignment, where we design the curriculum from the outcome towards the program educational objective. So we set everything is from curriculum design, and then we assess, and then we continue to give some feedback where we have some CQI reports, and then give it to the faculty, and the faculty will evaluate the report and then discuss back to the industry what we should improve on the next session, whether the hours could be increased or decreased, whether the rubric or the assessment tools could be correct. Some correction will be made based on that, and or some knowledge of students before they coming to the industry, they should learn something, a few theories, or in terms of the giving the knowledge and in the industry, some improvement could be made, but all everything is in the loop as mentioned in the figure, right?
Yeah, the point here is that the assessment that being done is actually relate with the design lah, because it's a backward design and forward assess, right? So if you can see something to improve, probably it's not about the assessment, probably it relates to the design, like what Dr. Hyreil mentioned just now lah. So that is the point of this slide. So do talk to the faculty because it might not be the thing that you probably think of, probably is a matter of the curriculum design. So that's the point. Okay.
Right. Okay.
I think this is the last few slides.
Yep. If you could explain this, sorry.
Okay. So this is actually for assessment. We're talking the types of assessment and how does it relate with the design. So the assessment themselves have certain criteria. So this is what I picked up from COPA, and I've tagged with the new the COPA is actually the MQA main document lah, document induk for program accreditation MQA. So these are in standard 2.2.2 in that document. So what I call is big F lah, just to easily remember. So validity, reliability, integrity, currency, and fairness. So these 5, at least, the elements, components should be exist and be able to prove lah. We together lah with the industry, we can prove these 5 components. However, the most important elements always being asked for are the validity and reliability. So integrity is quite a simple example whereby the question is not supposed to be given the students yet. So that is one of integrity lah that you can see. Currency is the current task. Probably before this, the machine to do welding is a bit different. So now the assessment should use the new machine lah. So that is a quite example lah. Fairness, there comes the rubric. So that's why most assessment in WBL uses rubric. So how can we prove fairness happen is that all are being done objectively by using the scoring tool. The scoring tool is the rubric lah. So that is the fairness. Okay, validity and reliability. These two are the naughty ones lah. So validity, how valid the assessment are. So you want to assess those students doing the welding, the industry machining. So the task to assess must be valid for the real work lah. WBL the assessment should be more towards real work. So is it relevant and is it representative? So these are the 2 sub criteria for validity. These are taken from COPA main document. Okay, so and reliability is the consistency and accuracy. So this is a bit difficult lah. Even us to be reliable in our scoring, in our marks. We have a final exam question. We should be consistent in marking them. and accurate enough lah to pinpoint if the marks to be deducted and so on. So this about reliable lah. So valid is assessing what is supposed to be assessed. Reliable, you're assessing the same criteria with the same marks. So that is reliable. So, however, PM Hadzley and his team should have constructed and developed the tools for the assessment, assessment task, scoring tool, rubric. However, as mentioned before, if any improvement, you can inform. Last but not least is the practicality lah. So probably you can advise us towards the future if the assessment can be improved if it's not that practical lah. So that is assessment. Okay, the last bit is about the time. This taken from PM Hadzley lah. PM Hadzley pinjam you punya slide. And apologies is in Malay. However, these are actually taken from the MPA document themselves lah. So basically, the coaches, they are focusing on industrial guidance. Theory and work is together lah with the faculty. So industrial guidance consists of all the courses and so on, how it is calculated lah. However, there is SLT. Kalau saya belajar MPA tu, nak senang faham, SLT is jam dinding lah, jam dinding. Hyreil lah. So whatever the student is doing at your institution or company, the time is the time wall clock lah. So how long they are there doing what and so on. But in order to calculate for the purpose of program and accreditation, is the ELT. For WBL is ELT. So we only consider 80%, but for UTeM, this is a bit flexible. It can be from 50% to 80%. But PM Hadzley, I think your faculty has decided for subjects, for courses is 80% kan? But for LI, WBL later is 50%. So that is the faculty will advise you lah. So based on the calculation, we can have the credit. So this is very, very important for WBL. Also for the industry to at least know lah, the difference between credit calculation for university, student at the university, which uses SLT without the industrial guidance, compared to what we are doing now for WBL, whereby we have industrial guidance by your good self, and it is calculated based on the effective learning time, ELT. So once you have ELT, so ELT is the concept lah, based on the jam dinding, and divided with 40 lah. 40 ini daripada MKF, notional learning hours 40 for 1 credit. So we have the credit there lah. So hopefully you can understand that lah, effective learning time ni ELT. And then the last is example from PM Hadzley. So this is one subject for credit, project management and supervision. So this is the teaching plan. Teaching plan, and we have the industrial guidance. For now, we are putting it at E kan, the practical. So that would be the total, and for the total delivery and total for assessment, and the whole total is 200 lah for this course. So 200, what does it mean? 200 hours. 200 hours.
Jam dinding.
Jam dinding, yes, jam dinding. So 200 hours is if you divide by 8 jam satu hari, is 25 days lah kan. Maksudnya kalau salah betul kan. So and I think he also puts the date already. So that is 25 days. So how much credit is 200 times 80% over 40 notional hours, so 4 credit. So that's what we got for credit lah. For MMI 3224. 3 is year 3. 4, the last number 4 there is the 4 credit. So that is how it is calculated lah. So everything is here actually, assessment, the delivery, the task, and also the outcome lah, and also the mapping to the graduate attributes. So I hope there is a crash course on the SLT and ELT. Okay, that's it for now. Other than that, I think Dr. Hyreil is the coaching lah. I think coaching skill. So that is, I'm not an expert on that, but I think we can do as best as possible to coach the students. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. My last comment. Thank you very much for listening to the fundamental of academic planning. I think in
crash course
in this 1 hour, 50 minutes. So it's about a lot of knowledge there. So we are sorry about that, but somehow we are trying to our best to deliver to you as industry instructor what is the university punya philosophy and education philosophy in UTeM, and also what's the purpose of WBL in our program. So we thankful for all the commitment from the faculty also and also the instructor, so that we could achieve what we want to do to the students as mentioned in the program itself. So from that note, Dr. Anwar, I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hyreil dan juga Dr. Sazalinsyah. Before we take a break, for 5 minutes break, we would like to take any question from the participant. If you have any question, you can feel free to unmute your mic and speak directly, or you can type your question in the chat window below. So before that, I would like to apologize to our participant, especially from outside, from industry, that I forgot to introduce Dr. Hyreil Anwar bin Kasdirin. He's actually the director of the Office of Academic Planning and Development of UTeM. And as Dr. Sazalinsyah bin Razali, he's the deputy director in the same office, which is Office of Academic Planning and Development. So please my apologize for not introducing these speakers. Thank you very much, Dr. Hyreil. So before that, any question from the audience? Anything?
Any inquiries from the industry?
Very theoretical. Macam mana? Terlalu tinggi sangat teori ke macam mana?
Should there be any pop quiz? OBE apa? WBL apa?
I think this is an introductory course, so I think we know that some of the instructor will have some things that to ask. But I think we just continue our session lah, Dr. KE.
Okay, boleh ya. Alright, so thank you very much
we
again.
We are here if you want to ask.
Okay, if you have any further question to Dr. Hyreil or Dr. Sazalinsyah, you can feel free to ask later on. And before we take a break, just a few reminder to all GI and PI or from the industries, please kindly fill in a Google Microsoft form to fill in your attendees, because as I can see, some of the invitation are different. I mean, some of you are replacing some other people, so please kindly fill in the attendees form, yeah. And then nanti also there will be a feedback form in the training, so please kindly fill in after the second half of our session nanti. Alright, so with that, if there are no question, kita take 5 dulu, boleh? Khairul, kita take 5 and then we will continue at around 12:07 noon. Okay, thank you very much. Kita jumpa lagi insyaAllah lepas ni. Okay, Hisham.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hyreil. Terima kasih banyak, Dr. Sazalinsyah.
We often get asked which exercises are best to do at your desk. So I'm going to run you through a simple routine to do throughout your working day.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay.
Kita boleh continue
Ya.
Cik Suffian boleh ke Cik ke PM Hadzley dulu.
Saya present dulu tapi saya pakai Suffian punya interface
Okey,
Suffian punya
baik-baik.
interface ni pasal komputer saya tak dengar sound tadi.
Okey, baik-baik. Okay,
Alright.
so bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and welcome back. Selamat kembali kepada sesi kita yang kedua. So after this now, let me introduce you to our guest speaker, Mr. Suffian Razak on the faculty from FTKMP. So before that, do you have any question to ask to Dr. Panel, because Dr. Sazalinsyah, Dr. Hyreil is still here. To all participants, kalau ada soalan, if you have any question, you can write in the chat window down there, or you can open your mic before we begin with our next session. Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, kita akan proceed. Okay, we'll now proceed with our session number 2, which will be on the planning and implementation of teaching and learning of WBL based course, which will be presented by Suffian Razak. So with that, saya minta mohon Cik Suffian untuk continue. Thank you very much. Silakan.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Okay, I want to test. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice?
Very good.
Boleh. Okay, alright. Okay, sebenarnya ini session Cik Suffian tapi saya ambil dulu sebab daripada Dr. Hyreil dan juga Dr. Sazalinsyah tadi dia berkenaan dengan assessment dengan implementation WBL. Jadi saya rasa lebih susah untuk saya teruskan dulu untuk sambung macam momentum lah daripada talk daripada Dr. Sazalinsyah dan juga Dr. Hyreil. Okey, berkenaan work based learning. Okey, kali ini saya akan present tentang assessment. Okey, sebelum tu biar saya terangkan sedikit macam mana pelaksanaan work based learning ini di industri. Okey, saya perkenalkan diri saya, nama saya Mohd bin Bakar, Profesor Moderator IR Doktor. Okey, saya lah orang yang develop, implement, buat marketing dan nanti akan melaksanakan akreditasi dan mungkin juga yang akan melaksanakan continuous improvement untuk subjek work based learning yang berdasarkan work based learning. Okey, jadi pelaksanaan work based learning ni, okey, kita sebenarnya untuk BTEC lah terutamanya kita akan menjalani degree, kita akan menawarkan degree kepada student selama 3,5 tahun. Yang mana 2,5 tahun pertama pelajar berada di universiti, manakala 1 tahun terakhir pelajar berada di industri. Okey, proses itu sebenarnya sama macam latihan industri lah, cuma apa bezanya kita ada subjek di industri yang mana pelajar-pelajar yang ini akan mengambil subjek itu. Jadi itu adalah bezanya. Okey. Jadi ada kata lain, ada nama lain untuk work based learning, ada nama lain adalah structured industrial training. Okey, maksud structured itu sebenarnya ada subjek. Okey. Jadi ada subjek tu maksudnya adalah kuliah, adalah juga assignment dan ada juga assessment. Alright. Jadi yang ni dekat skrin boleh nampak saya tunjuk. Okey, macam mana 1 tahun itu, structure untuk 1 tahun itu berlaku. Okey. Jadi nampak Mohon maaf saya takut nampak kat skrin saya je, kat anda tak nampak.
Okay, boleh. Teruskan PM Hadzley.
Boleh, okey. Okey, jadi saya salah satu contoh untuk degree industrial machining. Okey. Jadi untuk 1 tahun itu sebenarnya ada 6 subjek yang akan kami ajarlah. Okey, subjek pertama adalah Act and Read Assessment, subjek kedua Machine Maintenance, subjek ketiga Project Management, subjek keempat Final Year Project, subjek kelima Final Year Project 2, manakala subjek yang terakhir adalah Industrial Training. Okey, bagi subjek 1 dan subjek yang kelima ini kita akan laksanakan dia untuk 6 bulan pertama. Manakala 6 bulan terakhir adalah industrial training, industrial training. Sama macam industrial training kursus-kursus yang lain lah. Okey, nanti saya ada beza sikit je, nanti saya terangkan. Okey, jadi ini adalah subjek-subjek yang akan kita implement semasa work based learning. Jadi macam mana kita akan laksanakan dan apa yang telah saya buat. Sekarang ni pelajar pun telah pun berada semua 5. Okey. Jadi untuk subjek selepas pengiraan ELT, itu tadi Dr. Sazalinsyah dah terangkan tentang ELT. Okey, jadi bagi mana-mana staff ataupun staff industri nak tahu pasal ELT, kita boleh bagi talk kemudian lah macam mana kita kira. Jadi untuk satu subjek, untuk subjek yang 4 kredit, kita dah kira ELT, ia bersamaan dengan 25 hari ataupun bersamaan dengan 5 minggu. Jadi untuk satu subjek pertama iaitu 4 kredit, minggu. Jadi macam mana kita nak laksanakan pembelajaran 5 minggu? Okey, pertama kita akan adakan kuliah selama 2 jam seminggu, yang mana kuliah akan dijalankan oleh pensyarah UTeM secara atas talian. Okey, kalau industri itu berada di sekitar Melaka, mungkin pensyarah itu akan datang bagi kuliah kepada pelajar itu di industri. Okey, tapi disebabkan pertama kita industri jauh-jauh dan nombor 2 di pelbagai tempat. Kita ada dari Penang dan Sarawak, Melaka, Lembah Kelang dan sebagainya. Jadi pensyarah itu akan buat online. Dia akan buat kuliah ini yang dipanggil kuliah ni kuliah teori selama 2 jam. Macam kalau kelas saya, macam saja pertama ni saya yang ajar, saya buat kuliah hari Khamis malam 2 jam lah. Okey. Kita akan laksanakan kuliah yang mana pensyarah universiti yang akan laksanakan secara atas talian. Okey. Tambahan daripada kuliah, kita akan beri kepada pelajar assignment. Jadi macam mana kita buat assignment tu? Okey. Seperti ini Okey. Yang ni saya tunjukkan assignment untuk subjek saya lah. Okey. Okey, contoh assignment Ini contoh assignment. Okey. Jadi untuk seminggu, 1 minggu pertama, kita ada satu handout. Jadi pelajar dikehendaki melengkapkan assignment. Jadi pelajar hanya perlu mengisi sahaja mengisi sahaja assignment ini Okey, minggu pertama ini assignment minggu pertama Kemudian sepatutnya selepas assignment 1 minggu tu pelajar terus hantar handout itu kepada supervisor industri, jurulatih industri. Jurulatih industri boleh bagi markah Okey. Okey, dan setiap assignment kita telah bagikan rubrik kepada untuk garis panduan jurulatih industri memberi markah Okey. Itu assignment minggu pertama. Manakala untuk minggu kedua kita sediakan assignment minggu kedua, minggu ketiga, minggu keempat dan minggu kelima. Okey, jadi kita dah sediakan handout. Jadi on top of the pensyarah 2 jam online, kita sediakan pelajar assignment. Kita akan terangkan kepada pelajar apa nak buat. Jadi pelajar perlu melakukan assignment berdasarkan garis panduan lah, macam list of machine on the shop floor, list of the safety precaution of each machine. Itu contoh Itu contoh. Jadi saya tunjukkan satu contoh assignment yang lengkap lah assignment yang lengkap yang telah dilakukan oleh pelajar kita. Tapi yang ni gambar saya tukar Gambar bukan daripada kilang tu, gambar saya ambil daripada dia, ada isu confidential Okey, ni contoh yang pelajar kita dah buat assignment Okey, minggu pertama kita arahkan dia untuk lakukan suatu kerja. Okey. Dan pelajar itu menjawab kat sini Okey, jadi dia memperkenalkan company dan juga memberi gambaran lah tentang company Itu assignment pertama. Okey, kemudian assignment pertama pada minggu pertama ini terus sepatutnya dihantar kepada supervisor lah, dan supervisor itu berdasarkan rubrik ini dia akan terus lakukan pemarkahan lah. Okey, itu assignment pertama. Kemudian assignment kedua kita bagi assignment yang lain, pelajar pun jawab, tangkap gambar dan sebagainya. Kalau dibenarkan ni bergantung kepada confidential daripada industri lah. Okey. Jadi assignment minggu kedua, okey, pelajar letak kemudian kita terus bagi sekali rubrik supaya supervisor industri dapat nilaikan. Okey. Assignment yang ketiga, minggu yang ketiga ni contoh assignment minggu ketiga Okey. Ketiga ni contoh jawapan dari pelajar, risk assessment during Hyreil form. Okey, yang ni contoh jawapan pelajar. Manakala ini adalah rubrik untuk industri supaya industri dapat nilaikan di ruangan ni Okey. Dan seterusnya assignment pada minggu keempat kita dah sediakan semua assignment, pelajar cuma jawab jawapannya kadang-kadang tak banyak, mungkin ringkas sajalah. Alright. Okey. Yang ni minggu yang keempat. Okey, assignment minggu keempat dan industri supervisor dia akan beri markah. Dan seterusnya pada minggu kelima, pada minggu kelima tiada assignment dah. Pada minggu kelima kita minta pihak jurulatih industri beri markah tentang soft skill rubrik. Okey. Okey. Jadi itu adalah assignment ataupun penilah assessment daripada jurulatih industri pada minggu kelima. Okey. Jadi bagi pihak industri ini saja, bagi pihak industri ini saja assignment mingguan dan minggu kelima dia assess soft skill kepada pelajar lah. Dia assess soft skill kepada pelajar. Jadi sebenarnya bila kita buat work based learning ni, assessment perlu dilakukan oleh pihak industri dan juga pihak pensyarah lah. Okey, jadi pihak industri yang ni saja Yang ni saja maksudnya assignment mingguan dan ada assignment terakhir pada minggu kelima soft skill. Okey. Jadi yang pensyarah assess yang mana pula ya? Okey. Daripada handout assignment ni yang telah student buat ni, okey. Jadi kita akan minta student untuk buat satu case study. Jadi student compilekanlah maklumat daripada handout ini, kemudian student pun buat satu case study macam ni Ini contoh case study daripada student lah. Okey, gambar bukan gambar yang sebenar Okey. Jadi ini adalah satu contoh case study yang dilakukan oleh student untuk satu subjek subjek saya subjek safety. Jadi dikompilekan daripada handout tadi dikompilekan jadi satu case study. Okey, kemudian inilah tugasan dia assignment yang dia kedua. Dia buat case study yang ni pada minggu kelima lah dia kompilekan saja. Okey, dan untuk case study ini pensyarah yang bagi markah Untuk case study ini pensyarah yang bagi markah. Jadi ini adalah contoh case study dan ini adalah contoh rubrik untuk pensyarah tersebut bagi markah Jadi assignment adalah individu, okey, termasuk juga handout dan juga case study Okey, on top of case study, kita minta pelajar buat satu lagi assignment. Okey, daripada case study itu dia convertkan kepada presentation lah. Okey. Yang ni contoh presentation yang telah dilakukan oleh pelajar. Ni berlakon Saya dah edit lah, dia sebenarnya assignment yang sebenar saya edit Jadi pelajar akan bentangkan presentation ini kepada pensyarah. Okey. Jadi untuk case study dan juga presentation kepada pensyarah yang bagi markah manakala handout dan juga soft skill adalah daripada supervisor industri. Jadi ini adalah contoh presentation daripada student. Sepatutnya kalau bagus dia buat video dia buat video terus Okey. Berkenaan assignment dia dan sebagainya. Jadi yang ni adalah hak pensyarah untuk beri markah Okey. Jadi itu saja untuk satu subjek. Iaitu pelajar perlu ada assessment mingguan, okey, assignment mingguan dan kemudian daripada assignment mingguan convert kepada case study. Kemudian convert kepada presentation. Assignment mingguan dan juga soft skill dinilai oleh jurulatih industri, manakala case study dan juga presentation dinilai oleh pensyarah universiti Okay. Jadi seterusnya saya harap saya tukar-tukar slide tu nampak semua Okey.
Okey, boleh.
Jadi itu saya keseluruhan itu saya keseluruhan implementasi yang betul-betul nak buat kerja dekat industri apa yang berlaku kat WA itu saja. Okey. Pelajar dia bila dia masuk ke industri tu dia sepatutnya bekerja mengikut kehendak industri. Kalau industri tu tengah menjalankan production, dia kena ikutlah industri. Kalau industri tu tengah buat special project ke, dia buatlah special project. Tapi on top of that, dia ada assignment yang macam saya cakap tu Jadi ini saja Jadi saya fikir taklah terlalu berat ataupun pedihlah. Kita pun tak nak jurulatih industri mengambil masa jurulatih industri semata-mata nak menjadikan mereka too much access kat pelajar kita lah. Jadi saya cuba untuk memudahkan kita sediakan handout dan sebagainya. Jurulatih ini cuma beri markah dan juga refer kepada rubrik. Okey. Okey, jadi itu saja bahagian saya, maksudnya saya punya penerangan tentang assessment ini Okey, selebihnya adalah telah pun diterangkan oleh oleh Dr. Hyreil dan Sazalinsyah tentang peranan. Okey. Jadi ini adalah pecahan markah industrial coach kurang lebih 40 hingga 60% lah Okey. Ini cadangan Okey, jadi industrial coach hanya 2 assessment daripada weekly assignment dan juga soft skill tadi manakala pensyarah akan assess presentation dan case study report Okey, jadi Disebabkan pensyarah presentation, maksudnya kita tak perlulah nak ambil masa supervisor industri untuk spend lama-lama. Terutamanya bagi company yang ambil ramai pelajar kan. Ada company yang ambil seorang, ada company yang ambil sampai 9 orang. Jadi yang 9 orang ni kita pun tak naklah dia evaluate presentation lama-lama. Jadi presentation tu pensyarah yang evaluate. Jadi dia cuma evaluate attitude pelajar itu dan juga weekly assignment. Okay. So jadi maklumkan kepada supervisor ini, memang khusus ni memang saya jaga daripada sini. Semua pelajar ini memang saya jaga daripada sini lah. Maklumkan kepada supervisor industri kan. Jadi apa-apa masalah refer dekat saya. Kalau macam tak tahu nak nilai ke ataupun tak faham rubrik ke kan, boleh refer dekat saya dan kita akan boleh buat special ni lah, special online session lah untuk saya train ataupun saya bagi taklimat tentang macam mana nak menilai pelajar dan sebagainya. So saya harap semua kita implementasi dapat berjalan dengan lebih lancar lah. Okey, seterusnya kan, okey, subjek hanya berlaku 15 minggu pertama sahaja. Okey. Subjek hanya berlaku 15 minggu pertama saja. Minggu ke-16, pelajar dikendaki membuat projek sarjana muda. Okey, saya telah remind kepada pelajar supaya pada minggu pertama ataupun minggu kedua je sudah fikirkan apa tajuk projek sarjana muda yang akan dilakukan. Jadi mereka dah mula fikirkan. Jadi pada minggu ke-16 kita akan start projek sarjana muda. Saya akan lantik ramai lagi pensyarah, ramai lagi staff untuk supervise projek sarjana muda. Jadi projek sarjana muda ni kita pun bergantung kepada industri lah. Mungkin ada pelajar yang buat ongoing project. Mungkin juga ada pelajar yang buat projek khas mungkin atas kehendak industri. Okey, mungkin bergantung kepada industri ataupun mungkin ada industri yang nak pelajar teruskan assignment daripada subjek tadilah. Okey, terpulang Jadi kita akan nanti jadi projek sarjana muda hanya akan berlaku sepanjang 13 minggu sahaja Jadi pihak pensyarah akan supervise dari segi penulisan Jadi ini yang akan yang saya rangkalah untuk projek sarjana muda Untuk PSM 1 selama 5 minggu hanya 2 chapter saja, manakala PSM 2 projek sarjana muda 8 minggu kemudian hanya 2 chapter saja Okey. Gambaran saya lebih kurang 30 hingga 40 page saja laporan. Cara penulisan akan disupervise oleh pensyarah universiti manakala implementasi projek dilakukan dinasti berdasarkan skop kerja pelajar yang sedia ada digalakkan Jadi kita pun tak galakkan projek yang banyak sangat pakai kos dan sebagainya. Okey. Sehingga PSM 2 ianya berlaku 6 bulan. Ianya telah berlaku 6 bulan lah. Okey, selepas itu 6 bulan yang kedua ataupun bulan yang ke-7 hingga bulan yang ke-12, pelajar akan menjalani latihan industri macam biasa, macam pelajar-pelajar yang lain. Cuma kita akan supervise dari segi cara rekodkan projek Kita akan supervise cara rekodkan projek supaya ada projek yang boleh dijadikan laporan teknikal Okey, mungkin pelajar menjalani banyak aktiviti dan kita pilih salah satu projek untuk kita supervise untuk dijadikan laporan teknikal Mungkin laporan teknikal gambarannya macam laporan IR Jadi saya boleh supervise lah macam mana projek-projek tertentu boleh dijadikan laporan IR lah. Mungkin pihak industri boleh gunakan ini kalau ada staf industri nak buat IR ataupun pihak universiti pun boleh gunakan kalau dia nak buat IR berdasarkan studi bersama tu Okey, itu adalah latihan industri Jadi saya harap tidak perlu saya maklumkan kelebihan work-based learning kepada industri. Okey, kita kalau boleh cuba nak memudahkan pihak industri lah supaya tidak spend terlalu banyak masa hingga mengganggu produktiviti lah. Tapi dalam masa yang sama inilah kesempatan untuk kita bangunkan generasi baru generasi post pandemik yang mana mungkin keadaan ekonomi dan keadaan politik negara dan politik dunia sekarang agak tidak stabil. Jadi kat sinilah mungkin salah satu transformasi daripada universiti untuk memberi pengajaran dan pembelajaran dan dalam masa yang sama dapat memberikan pelajar lebih masa untuk menjalani latihan dan memberi peluang kepada industri untuk develop, untuk membangunkan sumber manusia sejak dari awal supaya inilah semua keadaan semua menjadi baik-baik belaka lah. Okey, jadi saya fikir saya tak nak bercakap panjang lagi. Boleh sekiranya apa hubungan boleh hubungi saya ataupun mungkin ada soalan sekarang. Okey. Jadi itu saja saya kembalikan kepada Dr. Khairul.
Okey, terima kasih PM Dr. Hadzley atas penerangan yang cukup padat dan ringkas tadi. Thank you very much. So, okay, now before we move on to Encik Suffian, any question? Ada soalan apa-apa ke nak tanya? Dalam bahasa Melayu, bahasa Inggeris pun boleh lah. Dia boleh dual language, no problem. Okay, participant, please. If you have any question berkaitan dengan program WBL yang diterangkan oleh Dr. Fazli tadi. Ada soalan?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Saya bukanlah daripada industri, saya daripada FTKE, PM Hadzley. Okey, soalan saya adalah berkenaan weekly task tadi. Weekly task disediakan oleh lecturer di FTKMP lah kan, berserta dengan rubrik kan. Yang saya nak tanya adalah setiap rubrik untuk task itu adalah berbeza ataupun sama?
Setiap rubrik untuk task tu maksudnya untuk setiap industri ataupun setiap minggu?
Ialah maksudnya macam kan week pertama task tadi saya nampak ada task pasal Hyreil semua tu kan. So dia punya, lepas tu next punya task tu lain pasal safety pula semua kan. Jadi dia punya rubrik tu macam rubrik dia tu adalah sama ke content dia tu ataupun dia depends on task?
Rubrik setiap minggu tak sama. Task satu, rubrik satu. Task dua untuk rubrik dua, tak sama.
Maknanya content dia lain lah.
Tapi untuk semua industri samalah rubrik dia. Subjek yang sama ya.
Okey, so maknanya task berlainan, rubrik pun berlainan lah. Okey. Okey. Because itu saya nak tanya. Okey, terima kasih Pak Doktor.
Okey, terima kasih Dr. Farah. Mungkin insyaAllah dalam tahun depan FTKE pula akan implementkan subjek WBL ni di fakulti mereka lah insyaAllah. So mungkin Dr. Kian Fazli nanti boleh buat sharing session pada FTKE macam mana pengalaman pertama kali nanti insyaAllah.
Okay.
Lain pula insyaAllah. So so to all staff UTeM juga.
Khairul Anwar.
Ya saya.
I can see Mr. William dengan Mr. King Tetsin. Dia raise hand tu. So maybe boleh tanya. Pak Mazli kenal?
Boleh.
Mr. William.
Yang mana ni?
Mr. King Tetsin daripada.
Yes, William here.
Yes. You have any question ke?
So far no yet.
Okay. Alright. Tertekan your raise hand tu.
Okay, I will share all the example to the student through the student, and the student may share the example to their supervisor. If you want more explanation about, or at least when I give the example, maybe you can refer how to make that assignment lah. We can show you all assignment confidential lah. We already signed MOU. All assignment confidential. Kita melatih student assess safety dekat di industri. Could be some of you maybe afraid lah. But this is for teaching and learning and not for audit and so on. But kita train student macam mana nak assess safety, sebab sometimes real case lebih mudah student belajar dan dia mungkin memberi benefit kepada industri sebab mungkin too many production sometimes make them difficult, don't have a time to consider safety and so on. Okay, but it's all about teaching and learning. So we train our student, for you actually. All right. So in the end, it will be good contribution to the industry at least. Any more? Okay, before ni kita ada satu lagi session dengan next speaker.
Kena tanya soalan ni. Sebab risau juga sebab audit untuk Mohd industri macam mana pun kita tak sure. Takut-takut dia panggil wakil industri ke. So
it could be, but don't worry. Don't worry.
Kalau tak faham boleh tanyalah.
Kalau nanti dia panggil wakil industri, saya akan brief dulu kepada wakil industri lah. Okay? Saya akan brief dulu kepada wakil industri what is this expectation lah. But you don't worry. Okay? I am here. I am going to take care everything. Alright? You just need to trust me. Okay? Yes? Okay.
Right.
Okay. Kalau tak ada soalan, I leave to the next speaker.
Okay, terima kasih Pak Hadzley. With that, I thank you so much for his very direct speech and very informative. So if you have any further question, I think all of you ada contact number kan, Dr. Hadzley. Hadzley pun dah contact personally to all company. So boleh tanya ni lah. So sekarang ni I'm going to invite our last speaker. We have only about half an hour left. So kita jemput CS Muhammad Suffian Abdul Razak to continue lah with our last half an hour of our training for today. So serahkan kepada Dr. Suffian. Silakan.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Khairul Anwar. Suara saya dengar ya?
Boleh dengar.
Okey, baik. So part saya simple sahaja. Kita pertama sekali saya akan menerangkan berkenaan dengan peranan lah, tugas dan tanggungjawab pensyarah. Kita ada beberapa term lah dekat sini penyelia fakulti, penyelaras industri dan juga jurulatih industri. So ketiga-tiga ni ada peranan masing-masing lah. So yang pertama berkenaan dengan penyelia fakulti dan juga pensyarah. So kita nak pensyarah ni menjadi perantara dengan industri untuk menjaga kemajuan pelajar. Jadi bila kita dah place pelajar di industri, kita nak monitor the progress. Adakah pelajar ni contohnya daripada mula-mula dia masuk dia tak berani nak bercakap, kan? Dia tak berani nak mengeluarkan idea dan sebagainya. Ada improvement tak kepada pelajar ni? Dan kemudian kita nak membangunkan plan pengajaran dan nilai pelajar. So seperti yang tuan-tuan dah tengok tadi, kita dah develop tugasan mingguan untuk pelajar buat. Okey, tugasan-tugasan tu pun sebenarnya adalah dari kita plan, and then bila kita dah run sekali satu semester ni, so nanti kita akan dapatkan balik input daripada industri dekat mana yang sesuai untuk kita nak improve dia punya plan perancangan tersebut. Okey, seterusnya kita akan membuat bimbingan dan sokongan kepada pelajar. So pelajar-pelajar ni pelajar-pelajar ni dia masih muda lah mungkin banyak benda, mungkin ada yang mungkin first time berada di industri, mungkin ada yang yalah, jadi kita bagi support sesuai lah, moral support kepada pelajar lah supaya pelajar ni boleh menghabiskan WBL sepanjang di industri. Okey. So yang berikutnya adalah penyerahan industri. Penyerahan industri ni is basically pegawai rujuk utama di industri dalam pelaksanaan WBL. So pegawai rujuk ni it can be HR ataupun ketua manager lah, manager sesuatu jabatan ataupun operation Okey, so tugas pegawai rujuk ni dia akan menyelaras penyedia sumber, fasiliti dan kepakaran yang bersesuaian. Contohnya jika pelajar ni nak belajar berkenaan dengan safety. Jadi pelajar ni kita tempatkan kepada jurulatih yang boleh mengajar berkenaan dengan safety. Okey, dan seterusnya penyerahan industri ini bertujuan untuk memantau pelaksanaan WBL di industri supaya berjalan lancar mengikut perancangan. Okey, untuk jurulatih industri, so tugas dia lebih mendalam lah sebab jurulatih industri lah yang akan melatih pelajar mengikut tugasan WBL yang diberikan, selain daripada tugasan hakiki yang diberikan lah, tugasan kerja yang diberikan kepada pelajar. Dan di akhir setiap kursus, jurulatih industri akan membuat penilaian kepada prestasi pelajar, dan pelajar dan jurulatih industri juga akan memberi ruang lah untuk latihan kemahiran pelajar dalam bidang sesuai. Untuk makluman pelajar-pelajar ni, kalau ditengok dari segi hands on dia insya-Allah okey. Cuma kita boleh bagi improvement dari segi macam mana dia nak manage project, manage lebih kepada management punya skill lah. Apa plan dia untuk nak buat nak buat sesuatu kerja nanti di industri. Okey, dan seterusnya memberi tugasan yang mencabar demi mencapai objektif pembelajaran dan pelajar terus berminat untuk belajar. So pelajar-pelajar ni dia eager to learn. Dia sangat muda dan very proaktif. So pelajar-pelajar ni kita kena bagi dia task yang dia rasa ni lah nak supaya dia keep putting effort to improve dia punya skills and knowledge and so on. So kita tak nak pelajar ni bila dia dah berada di satu tempat tu dia macam boring. Dia tak nampak sebenarnya apa yang perlu dipelajar dekat satu tempat tu. Okey, and then akhir sekali jurulatih industri ni kita harapkan supaya dapat melaporkan kepada penyelaras industri atau penyelia fakulti jika terdapat sebarang kebimbangan daripada pemerhatian terhadap pelajar untuk kelancaran pelaksanaan WBL. Jadi kita mengharapkan kalau juratan industri nampak pelajar ni mungkin dah ada masalah tekanan ke, contohnya pelajar ni ada masalah, ada kesukaran untuk bekerja atau belajar dan sebagainya. So benda ni boleh disalurkanlah kepada penyeras industri ataupun kepada pensyarah yang menyelia di industri tersebut. Okey. So ini saya hanya terangkan sebagai cara ringkas untuk work-based learning. So biasa tuan-tuan dengar berkenaan dengan latihan industri. So untuk work-based learning tempoh dia lebih panjang. Untuk di UTeM kita amalkan 1 tahun. Ada juga di tempat lain selama 2 tahun. Contoh setahun pertama di industri, and then 2 tahun di universiti dan setahun akhir di industri balik. Ada tempat yang buat macam tu. Okey, untuk kita hanya 1 tahun, and then pelajar masih ada kursus di industri seperti yang PM Hadzley menyatakan sebelum tadi, dan terdapat tugasan yang perlu ditetapkan oleh pensyarah dalam pelan pembelajaran. Berbanding dengan latihan industri, pelajar tiada kursus dan juga tugasan boleh ditetapkan oleh penyelia industri. Okey, persamaan antara WBL dengan latihan industri. So juratan industri diberi kebebasan untuk nak bagi apa saja kerja yang sesuai, dan beri pendedahan supaya student ni dapat belajar ketika melakukan kerja. So dekat situ juga sebenarnya kita harapkan pelajar ni boleh improve dia punya soft skill, dengan siapa dia kena berhubung. So kita nakkan pelajar ni independent sebenarnya. Pelajar ni boleh berusaha sendiri untuk mencari sesuatu information dan sebagainya tanpa perlu pemantauan 100% daripada jurulatih. Okey, dan pelajar ni perlu mendapat latihan yang mencukupi untuk melaksanakan tugasan bagi elakkan sebarang kemalangan. Sebab kita tak nak tiba-tiba pelajar ni diberi buat satu tugasan tapi student ni tak pernah buat. Jadi kita nak elakkan sebarang yang tak diingini lah, seperti kemalangan ataupun menyebabkan kerugian kepada syarikat. Okey, so untuk WBL ni juga kita ada satu ia adalah peluang pelajar untuk menyelesaikan real industry problem. So mengikut macam tugasan yang diberikan daripada kursus WBL ataupun kursus tugasan projek yang diberikan ketika projek sarjana muda atau latihan industri. So pelajar ni dapat real industry problem. Jadi kita harapkan benda ni boleh meningkatkan produktif syarikat. Okey, dan pelajar juga akan dilibatkan bersama dalam projek untuk menyelesaikan masalah yang dihadapi oleh syarikat. Jadi kat situlah sebenarnya WBL ni adalah peluang untuk kerjasama antara universiti dengan industri untuk sama-sama menyelesaikan permasalahan yang berlaku di industri. Okey, dan akhir sekali juratan industri membuat penilaian prestasi pelajar terhadap khasiat soft skill dan kemampuan pelajar melaksanakan tugasan kerja yang diberikan. Penyelidik fakulti hanya menilai laporan dan pembentangan akhir pelajar. Okey, seterusnya saya nak terangkan juga berkenaan dengan profil pelajar sarjana teknologi. So pelajar sarjana teknologi ni is basically pelajar yang daripada lepasan DVM dengan DKM, Diploma Vocational Malaysia dan Diploma Kemahiran Malaysia. Jadi kalau kita tengok profil pelajar ni sebenarnya dia cenderung belajar dengan melalui kaedah visual dan kinestetik. Jadi kadang-kadang bila kita cuba nak terangkan sesuatu benda panjang lebar, kita akan nampak pelajar tu akan lost lah dekat tengah-tengah. Sebab dia cara dia belajar adalah kita tunjuk dan dia akan follow lah. Dan bila dia buat tu dia akan ingat. Okey, pelajar-pelajar ni juga cekap dengan kerja-kerja tangan. So insyaAllah jangan risau. Kita boleh bagi kerja welding, kerja machining atau apa-apa kerja di production. Pelajar ni insyaAllah boleh buat. Dan pelajar ni untuk pelajar degree so kita bila pelajar ni daripada kemahiran, kita ajar dia banyak skills on design and analysis untuk membantu kerja-kerja dalam mereka bentuk dan membangunkan produk. Jadi ini adalah peluang lah untuk gunakan pelajar ni untuk menyelesaikan satu masalah yang berlaku di industri. Okey, dan pelajar ni sebenarnya dari segi pendedahan kemahiran komunikasi dan bertulis kita perlu banyak improve. So kat sinilah sebenarnya kami harapkan agar penyeras industri dan juga juratan industri dapat polish lah student ni supaya pelajar ni akhirnya yang contoh yang malu-malu, yang tak confident nak bercakap dan sebagainya, berani untuk bercakap. Dan juga kalau yang daripada laporan dia mungkin tak berapa kan, so kita nak improve dia punya kualiti laporan yang diberikan. Okey, seterusnya asas penilaian. So saya rasa benda ni umumnya sudah familiar lah bagi pihak industri. So saya hanya menyatakan di sini untuk sama-sama kita berkongsi. Okey, penyelia perlu merancang masa untuk nak menyelia pelajar. Sebab pelajar-pelajar ni memerlukan panduan daripada jurulatih supaya mereka tahu apa yang supervisor diharapkan. So kita anggarkan dalam seminggu tu mungkin pensyarah perlu supervisor industri ataupun jurulatih industri perlu allocate some time lah dalam masa 30 minit dalam seminggu untuk bincangkan macam mana tugasan pelajar and then perkembangan projek. Contohnya ada satu tugasan yang projek yang diberikan kepada pelajar. So ada masa lah untuk follow up dan juga perkara atau input yang diperlukan pelajar. Contoh pelajar ni perlu dia nak minta tolong kita communicate dengan certain department dan sebagainya. Jadi kita mohon jurulatih industri, penyaras industri dapat communicate dengan dapat bantu pelajar lah untuk pelajar punya proses pembelajaran. Dan akhir sekali kita harapkan dalam sebulan tu kita ada satu proses coaching dalam sebulan untuk kita sebenarnya kita nak bagi feedback kepada pelajar. Contohnya sebelum ni pelajar ni mungkin tak pandai nak bercakap. So dekat mana kita nak improve dan sebagainya. Okey, secara detail coaching adalah seperti yang berikut apakah contoh-contohnya apakah kekuatan pelajar dan juga kelemahan pelajar yang kita boleh improve. And then tugasan contohnya bila kita bagi dia tugasan adakah dia siapkan ikut masa yang ditetapkan ataupun tidak and then ikut arahan. So sesi coaching ni itu biasa kita akan buat secara one to one lah. Maknanya kita cari satu ruang atau tempat yang sesuai untuk kita laksanakan coaching kepada pelajar tu. Okey, ruang mana yang boleh dipertingkatkan oleh pelajar and then apa kita punya expectation untuk pelajar ni dan juga sokongan moral dan galakan. So pelajar ni masih lagi muda. So dia dalam proses nak belajar. Jadi kita kena sentiasa bagi support yang baik kepada pelajar supaya pelajar ni dapat improve dia punya skills. Okey, so saya rasa itu sahaja daripada saya. Terima kasih.
Okay, terima kasih banyak. Thank you so much. Mohd Suffian, Razak. Baik, so kita masih ada masa berbaki lagi sebenarnya dalam lebih kurang 15 minit. So kita boleh jadikan maybe sesi ini sebagai sesi yang lebih santai ke untuk soal jawab, berbincang ke mungkin yalah kita sendiri ada from different companies from Dylan, from Glassfield and iPetro and so on. So maybe we like to do you have any question ke ataupun maybe pihak Mazli pula ingin bertanya ataupun Cik Suffian ingin bertanya pada industri ke, ada apa persoalan kepada mereka ke, mungkin boleh raise a question, general question to them. It can be two way. So alright, so kita open the floor right now. Kalau nak open mic, open camera pun boleh, silakan kepada semua peserta. Any question? Ke PM Hadzley dengan PM Suffian nak tanya soalan pop quiz ke kata orang ni? Especially yang kita ada DL Rebecca Tai want to ask the raise hand. Please.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Okay. Because just now, thanks to all the speaker about the whole process for this learning based. But because the wondering is about the assessment, because we don't want at the end of the day the coach or the supervisor they not follow the track of the university. So is it possible to have a very clear guidebook to our industry or to all the supervisor so that let them know what they should do, and then especially just now about the weekly report. Is it all the subject will be the same, apply the same? They need to submit their weekly report also, and then by week number 5, and also need to assess again all their soft skill. So wondering is it we can have this guidebook how to assess the student, because we don't want later on we wrongly the supervisor or coach wrongly assess the student, at the end the student cannot graduate. It's not good also.
Okay, Mas Lee ke Cik Suffian ke menjawab. Okay, ada few question dalam tu.
Okay, terima kasih Miss Rebecca for the questions. Okay, so saya share dulu. Sebenarnya untuk pelajar kita dah serahkan buku panduan. Sekejap saya cuba share screen. Okey, sebenarnya kita dah beri satu buku panduan ni. Contohnya untuk pelajar welding dan juga kita satu lagi buku panduan untuk buku untuk machining industry. So ni dalam ni semua dah ada pengenalan dan sebagainya, apa peranan sekejap saya okey, industri so tugas-tugas jurulatih apa yang dia kena buat di sini lebih detail untuk kursus yang kita buat tadi kita dah cuba simplify lah the explanation and so on. So untuk dalam ni kita dah terangkan apa dia punya perkara-perkara yang akan dibuat, apa dia punya takwim. Contohnya untuk minggu sekarang ni pelajar dah minggu ke-6. Okey, sekarang ni untuk kursus welding dia dah masuk kursus yang kedua. And then prosesnya akan berlaku sehingga 4 minggu. Itu contohnya lah. Jadi benda ni berterusan lah. So untuk batch yang satu daripada awal sehingga habis. And then daripada takwim ni juga kita terangkan lebih detail berkenaan dengan penilaian. Berapa banyak, berapa persen markah. And then
dah start invite dah. Semua jawapan dah ada dah.
dan juga contohnya macam tugasan contohnya untuk minggu yang pertama apa tugasan dia So sebenarnya buku ni kita request untuk pelajar beri kepada jurulatih industri lah. So macam ni nanti kami akan pastikanlah supaya buku ni sampai kepada jurulatih industri supaya pelajar tahulah apa yang supaya supervisor tahu apa yang pelajar buat untuk setiap minggu.
Okay. So mereka hanya perlu ikut semua ini apa yang perlu buat ikut buku ini.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Dr. Hadzley ada nak tambah ke? Tak ada. Okay.
Just wondering, Mr. Rebecca, tadi. So this kind of guidebook, is it suffice for your purpose, for industry purpose?
The most important is have to let supervisor know what they can contribute because it's not mentioned what they need to learn. Is it for the first week, second week, third week? I don't want later on the student come then not follow the timeline.
Okay. So you wanted to know the expectation of the task by university lah kan? So
yes.
It should be within this guidebook lah that the faculty has produced lah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Alright.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much for the question, Mrs. Rebecca. So basically this book is available, but but you have not yet received this book. Am I right? Am I correct, Rebecca? So is it in form of a soft copy or is a hard copy punya version? Dr. Suffian.
Ini dalam soft copy.
Soft copy. Oh, okay. So
kita boleh share.
Patutnya student boleh dah sharekan to all their supervisor lah kan by this time. Okay, so maybe if you want to expedite, perhaps maybe if you have the email address of all, maybe Hadzley ataupun kita boleh emailkan sekali lagi ke PDF to all the supervisors lah, not only Ms. Rebecca, to all other supervisors in this forum lah.
At least for our office HR. Yeah.
Okay, and your office as well as the rest of the company are here.
Yes.
Maybe we will email you because I think we have all your emails, and I think I also included in the chat room the link to especially from the industry untuk tolong fill in kan some information because yang saya perasan tadi ada juga adalah senarai earlier participant tidak ada hari ini due to some ada reason. So email yang terkini minta tolong isikan update dalam link yang saya bagi tadi ya. Okay, so we have another maybe 5 to 10 minutes before kita bersurai. Any more question? That's tadi berkenaan dengan guidebook, dan I hope that the rest of the participants, especially from the industry, also take note jugalah.
Dr. KA, there's a question in the chat box tu by Mr. Zulkifli Ahmad.
Ya, okay, baik. Saya pun berperasan. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Encik Zulkifli, dia tanya, adakah assignment dari industri turut dinilai sebagai sebahagian pemarkahan student? Ya, PM.
Okey, kalau industri tu ada assignment, maksudnya task daripada industri, kita lagi suruh jadikan dia projek, final year projek terus. Jadi kalau ada final year projek, dijadikan final year projek, jadi markah itu akan dikira lah. Kan? Kalau task biasa macam task harian yang mungkin task runcit, kita bagi task runcit yang sikit-sikit, jadi assignment tu tak ada dalam markah silibus lah. Kalau task tu dijadikan final year project, ya, markah daripada industri tu akan diambil kira sebagai grade pelajar untuk subjek PSM tu.
Alright. Jadi
saya tambah sikit, Dr. KA, PM Hadzley. I do agree with that. Sebab kena ingatlah tadi konsep tu, one of the element is fairness kan, Encik Zulkifli Zulkifli Ahmad. So kalau industri ni dibagi ada assignment lain, so tak boleh dikira lah, kecuali dengan cara masukkan dalam PSM tadi lah. Sebab PSM tu across industry, pelajar akan ambil jugalah. So that's the way lah. Setuju. Right.
Okay, Encik Zulkifli. Alright, terima kasih. Okay, dah menjawab soalan. Baik, so any other question from the floor? Ada soalan lain ke ingin bertanya kepada penceramah kita? Ada 4, Dr. Hyreil, Dr. Sazalinsyah, Dr. Hadzley dan juga Encik Suffian. Silakan. Okay, before that mungkin saya boleh briefkan sikit lah. Saya minta mohon to all the participant untuk tolong isikan feedback form. Let me share my screen sebentar. So basically, kalau if all of you have log into our course training, so this is the website lah, yang portal training yang tuan semua dapat. So this is the front page, the information. So this is the itinerary punya link yang kita dapat. So this is the link to webinar yang hari ini. These are the link to the course material. Okay, you can download the course material from this website lah. Okay, semua pun dah ada login apa semua tu. So you can download and you can use it as a reference lah if you like to. Dan satu lagi last before you guys for issuance of certificate of attendance for this course, we would like all of you to please kindly fill in a short quick feedback form di dalam link menu feedback sini ya. So this course feedback consists of few multiple choice question. Consisting of how do you feel about the course content, material, effectiveness of speaker, course management, and maybe you can do a little bit of self-evaluation on how this short course, 2 hours course have increased in terms of your knowledge, skills, and your attitude lah. So, and then a few general comment kat sini, minta tolong isikan ya. Maybe you guys perlukan training spesifik ke apa ke, maybe kita boleh cuba capture all this feedback. Maybe this will also be very useful for untuk future punya implementation lah for continual quality improvement untuk deliver WBL courses to the industry. So with that saya minta aware of untuk minta tolong isikan this feedback form. Baik. Okay, kepada yang lain-lain kembali balik. Yes, saya.
Okay, kalau boleh minta tolong bantu uploadkan the condensed version slide tadi tu yang saya bagi lambat tadi kan.
Okay, baik.
Yang tu pendek sikit lah kalau nak go through kan.
Okay, baik.
Dan satu lagi, Dr. Nur Fariza dalam chatbot dia kata feedback tu masih close
Masih close? Oh sebentar ya, kalau patutnya dia akan buka kalau ikutkan
pukul 12
pukul 12, yes, lepas habis course. Ya, kita that's why kita tak nak buka awal-awal. So after 1 o'clock after 1 o'clock, after finishing this one, maybe before 5 o'clock ke, before, I think tomorrow pun kita still buka lagi. So tuan-tuan semua boleh inilah apa namanya tu untuk isikan feedback form tu. Okay. Alright. Baik, so thank you very much. And any further question? Ada soalan lain ke daripada industri, daripada staff kita yang mungkin yang akan
Betul lah, kalau tak ada daripada industri, maybe one question from staff ke? Staff jabatan ke?
tak semesti daripada FTKMP, mungkin daripada FTKE juga yang ada sini. Macam saya nampak Asri ada, Johar, siapa lagi sini. Or maybe Dr. Sazalinsyah ke, nak tanya kepala industri ke? Question for them.
For now tak adalah. I think kalau ada apa-apa isu boleh contact terus lah kot PM Hadzley kan for now. Cuma PM Hadzley and his team are actually formulating for the PSM punya macam ni kan. So nanti itu pun saya interested jugalah nak tengok PSM WBL tu. Untuk LI WBL tadi TS Suffian ada sebut yang dah lulus semalam tu dalam lampiran ada. So nanti boleh refer kat situ lah konsep dia. Tapi sama lah macam yang kita bincang kan Pak Mazli tu. Dia macam IR punya apa kita panggil portfolio lah. Ya, portfolio. Yang tadi Pak Mazli sebut case report case report.
Report lah.
Tapi dia bukan laporan LI biasa lah.
Okey, saya tambah sikit lah okey, untuk projek sarjana muda sebenarnya dia masih lagi berada di fasa awal lah. Fasa pelajar membuat pemilihan tajuk untuk PSM so semalam kita dah bagi talk lah kepada pelajar jadi untuk apa jurata industri boleh sama-sama bincangkan lah tajuk yang sesuai. So saya dah bagilah some guideline untuk pelajar, contohnya jangan terlalu panjang tajuknya dan sebagainya. So ni adalah contoh-contoh lah. So saya rasa semalam pun pelajar dah dimaklumkan apa-apa tajuk yang sesuai untuk diberikan kepada pelajar So sebenarnya saya nak tekankan, saya nak bagi tahu tak semestinya pelajar ni, kalau pelajar ni welding kita bagi dia tajuk project welding. Kita boleh bagi apa-apa pun line improvement, nak buat contohnya nak buat special tool contohnya. So tu semua boleh diberilah kepada pelajar untuk pelajar buat. So dia open, tak terikat kepada machining ataupun welding. So tu sajalah.
Okay, alright.
Alright. Okay, thank you very much, Suffian. Okay, so I think maybe we like to go around the table. Ada apa soalan lagi ke? Maybe ada tambah-tambahan ke? Maybe last word from PM Hadzley daripada Dr. Sazalinsyah. Dr. Hyreil dah tak ada sini
Dia ada urusan lain.
Any few last word, any advices ke, any apa-apa ke? PM Hadzley kami tak dengar suara. Okay.
So from my side, I think we hope that everything goes smoothly. And if any issues, any question, directly contact with the faculty lah. Kalau ada soalan-soalan pasal konsep-konsep apa semua tu boleh tanya lah. So je lah, risau juga. Tadi macam Miss Rebecca tadi kan. Okay, itu je kot.
Okay. Terima kasih Dr. Sazalinsyah. Okay, Dr. Hadzley, ada apa-apa? Yeah.
I would like to thank lah to the industry menerima pelajar kami kan untuk MOU kan. Kita melakukan saya melakukan yang sepakat kata di waktu pandemik kita ada banyak limitation untuk bercakap, ekonomi pun tak berapa bagus time tu kan. Tapi masih ada industri yang melayan kita minta, and then dia pun kata okey boleh sign MOU dan sebagainya tanpa banyak cerewet dan sebagainya. Jadi saya amat berterima kasih dekat industri ini lah saya amat berhutang budi lah kat sini. Terima kasih semua. Terima kasih semua pihak yang terlibat.
Okay, terima kasih. Okay, baik. That's a very very kind words daripada PM Hadzley dan juga mewakili pihak UTeM lah. Saya juga mewakili pihak UTeM. Terima kasih kepada semua pihak industri yang ada di sini kerana berbesar hati untuk to accept our students, and we are very much in debt to your contribution to us. Hopefully benda ni akan menjadi satu orang kata apa win-win situation for both of us lah. Satu mungkin kita akan dapat juga student yang lebih berpengalaman, yang lebih kompeten, dan lebih baik dari academic, skills, dan juga industry can gain something in terms of orang kata apa for the benefit of all lah, untuk membangunkan warga tenaga kerja yang lebih baik di masa hadapan. Mungkin some of them will be maybe stick dekat to your company to become your future workers in the future, insyaAllah, mana tahu kan. Yeah. So insyaAllah. So Cik Suffian ada apa ke final word nak sampaikan?
Tak ada.
Okay,
Terima kasih dah sampaikan.
Okay, baik. So with that, biasanya di hujung-hujung ini kita akan open camera untuk snapshot gambar sekali lagi. Maybe because we also have new participant tadi. Ya, Dr. Sazalinsyah, tanya apa tadi? Angkat tangan. Okay. Okay, maybe...
Tertekan. Sorry.
Tertekan tak apa, tapi jangan stres. Okay, kita
Thank you.
kita kurang-kurangkan stres. Dan juga maybe if not terlalu lambat, kita mengucapkan selamat menyambut bulan Ramadan. Walaupun hari kelima dah ni. So hopefully semoga Ramadan ini menjadi Ramadan lebih baik lah. So before that, maybe kita boleh ambil one last round of photo session lah. Mungkin tadi ada peserta yang baru sampai lambat sikit ke daripada tadi. So mungkin Isham boleh tolong ni kan. Peserta boleh tolong on kan kamera just for a short while. Kita akan ambil our second photo session lah. Isham boleh coordinate?
Alright.
Okay.
Okay, ready to take. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. I think that's all. So Alhamdulillah, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Thanks to Allah SWT for having all these sessions. Hopefully semuanya berjalan dengan lancar. Yeah, we really appreciate of all of you being here, especially from the industries as well as from the other local staff from UTeM. So hope of this session dah mendapatkan natijah yang baik, insyaAllah. So before we end, I would like to remind again to all GIs and PIs, tolong isikan your detail of your personal detail in the link form yang saya letakkan chat tadi, and also the feedback form also lah. Okay, to receive the certificate of attendance. So that's all the time we have for today. If you have anything to write or something, you can feel free in the feedback form. If you have any suggestion for improvement or any comment or feedback, please write it there. So insyaAllah, if you have anything, kita akan cuba baik pada masa ke semasa. Baik, so before...
Dr. KA, feedback form tu dah open lah
Patutnya dah open. Isham dah open, Isham
Okay, alright. Okay, thank you.
Patutnya open. Kalau tak open, nanti saya akan make sure kejap lagi dalam before 2 o'clock, around 1 something, kita akan open. Kalau katakan belum open, saya akan check. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak-banyak semua. Thank you for all your kind participation or your for attention. Kita berjumpa lagi insyaAllah. Kalau rezeki di masa hadapan, kita akhiri dengan surah wa'as dan tertulis kepala. Subhanallah, subhanallah, bihamdika, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Okay, terima kasih banyak. Bye now. Have a good day insyaAllah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.